Tyler Perry, very well known in the US, a very world famous, well respected TV producer and film producer. There have been some sexual assault claims made by him. It's a chap called Derek Dixon, and it's a $260 million lawsuit. And we say it's interesting because
when Harry and Meghan left the UK in 2020, they found themselves without jobs, facing public scrutiny over their royal titles, and largely unprepared for life outside the monarchy. During this uncertain time, Tyler Perry, the well-known Hollywood producer and actor, stepped in to help. He offered them the use of his luxurious $18 million mansion in Montecito, complete with top-tier security. However, it's important to recognize that this gesture wasn't purely out of kindness. Perry's support came with unspoken expectations. By providing them with a safe and lavish place to stay, he essentially gave them an expensive safety net during their transition into independent life. This arrangement went beyond simple generosity. It was a strategic move that carried significant implications for both parties.
Appeared as a character witness for Harry and Meghan in their 6-part show. This throws all sorts of issues, legal issues as well, commenting on it because it might develop over the next couple of weeks and days. But what is the importance of a royal godfather, Hugo?
However, reports suggest that Tyler Perry didn't just provide them with a place to stay. He also covered their private security expenses for several months as they planned their next steps. Now, that same mansion is up for sale, and this is no random occurrence. It's a subtle yet meaningful message. The Sussexes' period of financial and logistical support has come to an end. With the house no longer available, the facade of complete self-sufficiency begins to crumble. After all, if they had truly established financial independence, they wouldn't need to rely on such generous handouts. The sale of the property underscores the reality that their transition away from royal life hasn't been as smooth or self-reliant as they may have claimed.
But the parents have been, in a sense, a godparent. One of the great things, of course, the real mission of a godparent is to make sure that they're sort of brought up in a Christian way and then sort of confirmed at a certain age. That we know. But also, godparents can be very useful in sort of mediating between parents and saying, "Well, he said that." Well,
if they had truly achieved financial independence, they wouldn't still be relying on borrowed mansions or the generosity of billionaires to maintain their lifestyle. The situation had become a financial mess, embarrassing, ironic, and impossible to ignore. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who once confidently stepped away from royal duties to create their own self-sufficient future, now appear trapped in the unraveling final act of that very dream. With Tyler Perry listing his Montecito estate for sale, the Sussexes are being forced to confront a harsh truth: mounting debt, dwindling Hollywood opportunities, and the gradual but undeniable breakdown of their carefully crafted post-royal identity. Now, the consequences are catching up with them.
They're usually chosen as really good family friends, not as sort of celebrities and sort of figures like this. But it doesn't really mean anything, particularly. I know if the Queen...
Now, they're subtly reaching out to the very institution they once condemned, Buckingham Palace. But this isn't about family reconciliation or a sense of duty. It's a move born out of necessity, possibly even desperation. To fully grasp how things reach this point, we need to dissect the financial turmoil that has been building behind the scenes. While the public sees a polished image of Harry and Meghan's post-royal life, few are aware of the hidden costs piling up in private. According to royal experts and insiders familiar with their California dealings, the couple may owe significant sums to Tyler Perry and other undisclosed lenders. These debts aren't just recent. They've been accumulating over time, quietly undermining their claims of financial independence. The reality is stark. What was once portrayed as a bold, self-made future is now looking increasingly unstable. And with each mounting expense, the Sussexes' options are shrinking, leaving them with fewer places to turn.
Stood up for them while they were leaving the royal family and on this whole champion trip abroad. So I just think that it's really, really not a good look for them. And let's see what will come out of this.
I think if accusations of this kind in court, this kind of legal writ had been made against Prince George's godfather, or
security, staff, travel arrangements, and an extravagant lifestyle, Harry and Meghan have been living far beyond their actual financial capacity. Why is this a problem? Because despite their public image, the couple hasn't generated enough steady income to sustain the opulent life they portray. Think about it: a $14 million mansion, private jet travel, 24/7 security, high-end fashion, and a team of branding experts. All of this requires massive, ongoing funding. Yet, they lack a reliable source of income to cover these expenses. Now, With Tyler Perry withdrawing his support, Harry and Meghan may be forced to confront debts they likely assumed would either be silently covered or brushed aside. Without Perry's financial safety net, those unpaid bills are quickly coming due. Even more telling, just before the mansion hit the market, reports surfaced revealing a curious trend, one that suggests their financial struggles are no longer hidden behind closed doors. The cracks in their carefully crafted image are starting to show.
William's godfather.
Can you imagine?
It would be a huge story, I think. Do you know what I mean? It would bring a lot of attention.
Well, I do, but I mean, in the days when the Evening Standard used to have a placard outside, it would always say something like Queen's cousin in grave trouble. I mean, you bought it and then you never heard of the cousin, had you? They like to make an association with...
Behind the scenes, interesting developments were unfolding. Prince Harry had reportedly initiated discussions with King Charles, while Meghan reached out to palace insiders through private channels. While these actions could be interpreted as attempts at family reconciliation, the timing raises eyebrows when we consider their very public criticisms of the monarchy over the past 3 years. Through high-profile interviews, documentary appearances, and Harry's memoir, the couple consistently portrayed the royal institution in a negative light. This sudden shift in approach begs the question, is this truly about healing family rifts, or is it a strategic move born out of necessity? As their carefully constructed California lifestyle begins to unravel, reconnecting with the royal family may represent their last viable safety net. Their motivation appears less about nostalgic affection for royal life, and more about urgently needing the financial security and global status that only the monarchy can provide. Remember when their Netflix and Spotify deals were announced? Media outlets celebrated these as groundbreaking, $100 million triumphs that validated their independent path. However, the actual outcome has fallen far short of those early, optimistic projections. The gap between their projected success and their current reality has become impossible to ignore.
You know, that's how they do the link, isn't it?
Well, that's totally right. I mean, I'm not specifically associating all the, the lawsuits and the accusations, anything disparaging about Lilibet, but it needs to be drawn attention. This is somebody who's very close to the Sussexes. Harry and Meghan went to his 55th birthday in September, which kind of doubled up as Harry's birthday last September.
The Spotify agreement was abruptly terminated. Meanwhile, Netflix has allegedly paused or cancelled several of Meghan's proposed projects, citing creative disagreements and disappointing results. Despite their initial hype, the couple has failed to build a thriving production company, produce a successful series, or establish a reliable content pipeline. And without these, the money simply isn't coming in. Making matters worse, industry insiders in Hollywood are growing wary. Rumors of Meghan's demanding behavior and difficult working style have made studios hesitant to collaborate with her. As for Harry, his royal charm hasn't resonated in the entertainment world. He appears lost without the prestige of the palace behind him. No projects mean no income. And without steady paychecks, maintaining their luxurious Montecito lifestyle becomes impossible. This is a moment when the truth becomes undeniable. Their grand vision of independence is crumbling, leaving them in an increasingly precarious position.
Harry's 40. If they live close in Montecito, and they're very close to the Sussexes, so we'll have to see how it pans out.
Watch how quickly they drop him, seriously. I mean, just watch how quickly they go, oh, sorry, toxic brand, gonna step away from you, even though they're the ones who are really toxic. So I just think it's gonna be another person who's just thrown to the side.
Harry and Meghan continue to maintain a royal standard lifestyle, without access to royal finances. Their sprawling Montecito estate, high-end vehicles, exclusive travel arrangements, private functions, and constant security detail combine to create staggering annual expenses. Industry estimates suggest between $4 million to $6 million per year. Yet their income streams tell a different story: occasional paid speeches, limited brand partnerships, and intermittent media projects. This patchwork of earnings simply can't sustain the lavish existence they've built since leaving the monarchy, the very institution that previously covered all such costs automatically. Now, with Tyler Perry listing their borrowed mansion and rumors of unsettled debts growing louder, the couple faces a harsh reckoning. Their carefully constructed image of self-sufficient success is crumbling, leaving them vulnerable and, in a striking reversal, potentially seeking help from the same royal establishment they famously rejected. The timing of Perry's property sale couldn't be more revealing, coinciding perfectly with their apparent financial crisis.
We'll watch this space. Let's just dwell a little bit on Lilibet and Archie. We saw a little bit more in a video posted on Meghan's Instagram page.
Well, I'm getting fed up with seeing the back of their heads and hearts stuck over their faces when they go to Disneyland and things. I mean, either show...
This timing is far from accidental. While Harry and Meghan have publicly praised Tyler Perry as their rescuer during their exit from royal life, sources claim he has since quietly stepped back from supporting them. The reason? Being associated with the Sussexes has become risky for one's reputation. Hollywood's inner circles have reportedly grown weary of their ongoing controversies. Perry's choice to sell the mansion they once occupied isn't just about property, it's a statement. It signals that this phase of their journey is over. Even more troubling, whispers suggest Perry was never fully reimbursed for his generosity. Now, without the mansion and possibly owing unpaid debts, Harry and Meghan have lost one of their most crucial supporters. Despite their high-profile Netflix and Spotify agreements, the Sussexes are spending money faster than they're earning it. Their $14 million Montecito home comes with steep taxes and upkeep expenses, not to mention the enormous cost of security, travel, public relations, and high-end fashion. But the financial outlook is worsening. The Spotify deal has collapsed. Netflix is allegedly cutting back on projects with them. Public interest in their Archewell brand is fading fast. Analysts argue they confuse short-lived media hype with genuine, long-term success. Their financial stability is now on shaky ground. With dwindling support from influential allies and fewer lucrative deals coming in, Harry and Meghan are approaching what royal insiders describe as an inevitable financial crisis. Notably, the recent talk of reconciliation with the royal family isn't originating from Buckingham Palace. It's being pushed by Meghan's own team, suggesting a desperate need for stability rather than a sincere desire to mend fences. Recent carefully staged public appearances, charity engagements, and carefully managed interviews have raised eyebrows among royal analysts. Many view these as strategic maneuvers to gauge public sentiment about a possible return to royal life. This approach bears Meghan's signature playbook. When Hollywood opportunities fade, pivot back toward palace connections. However, British citizens aren't being fooled. A shocking recent survey revealed more than 70% of UK residents oppose Harry and Meghan resuming any official royal role. This isn't mere dissatisfaction, it's outright refusal. The royal institution understands reintegrating them could spark damaging public outrage it can't risk. The couple who once commanded global attention now struggle to maintain relevance. Meghan's much-hyped Archetypes podcast failed to deliver promised cultural influence. Their Netflix documentary generated temporary buzz but quickly lost steam. Their media image has deteriorated from progressive dialings to overexposed tabloid regulars. Without royal connections or new scandals to reveal, their Hollywood stock has crashed. Industry sources describe them as difficult to work with, unreliable, and no longer commercially viable. Offers are disappearing. A-list invitations have stopped. They transition from sought-after celebrities to industry warnings. The math is undeniable. Extravagant spending with dwindling revenue. Their borrowed mansion is being sold. Their fame is evaporating. What remains? Only the monarchy they spent 2 years publicly attacking, the very system they now may need to salvage their crumbling situation. The irony couldn't be more striking for the couple who vowed to build an independent future, but find themselves circling back to the institution they rejected. Harry and Meghan's sudden push for reconciliation is being interpreted by royal aides as a move of desperation, an attempt to salvage their fading relevance and secure financial stability. But Buckingham Palace isn't fooled. Neither are the households of Clarence House or Kensington Palace. The monarchy has weathered countless scandals over centuries. They don't need Harry and Meghan to maintain their stature. Yet for the Sussexes, the royal family was their brand. Now that this connection has been severed, what options remain for them? The truth is stark. There's no viable way back. Despite strategically leaked media stories suggesting a possible royal reunion, the sentiment within palace walls is unmistakable. They are not wanted. Well-placed royal sources have confided in trusted journalists that while the door isn't locked, it is firmly closed. In diplomatic terms, that translates to, don't bother trying. The damage is irreparable. The monarchy doesn't forgive betrayal, especially not when it's been dramatized for global consumption on Netflix. This isn't a temporary setback. It's permanent exclusion. What they once sold as their bold, American dream is now collapsing in real time, leaving them stranded without a safety net. The Montecito mansion that once represented freedom, influence, and a fresh start is now being sold by Tyler Perry, the very man who offered them refuge. Their glamorous lifestyle was always propped up by image and influence rather than solid financial footing. But as deals disappear and supporters back away, their carefully crafted facade is crumbling. Local residents have reportedly grown frustrated with the constant media frenzy surrounding the couple. Their public appearances have become scarce and meticulously staged. Even in progressive California, public goodwill has faded. They're not just fading from the spotlight, they are losing credibility. There was a time when the world hung on their every word, but now audiences are tuning out. Online discussions have turned increasingly critical. British tabloids no longer tread carefully around them. American media no longer treats them as darlings. And the numbers don't lie. Engagement with their content has plummeted. Why the shift? People are simply worn out, tired of the endless complaints, tired of the mixed messages, tired of watching privilege disguised as hardship. The media, once their most powerful tool, has grown apathetic. And for former royals who built their brand on attention, indifference is the ultimate downfall.